Welcome to the New Monks. This podcast is dedicated to those of us on the journey of evolution. Through these episodes, we will dive into the lives of individual people and discover what they have learnt and how they have handled their growth. We believe that we all have wisdom to be shared with each other and can learn from listening to each other's stories. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you feel like leaving us a review and sharing the love, that would be greatly appreciated. So this is just a heads up because, there's a lot of information that is coming to light at the moment, and through these episodes, each person is going to share a different side of that for them. Now, this isn't to say that every single thing that is shared here is going to be 100% accurate, It's just not where we are right now. It's just not the case of the unraveling and the disclosures that are being revealed to us. Obviously, things are always changing, and in one moment something can be so real and so true, and the next moment is completely shifted and changed into something else. This is the journey of evolution. This is the journey of ascension that we are going through right now. So this is just an invitation that your discernment is really, really important. As always, as usual, please take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the New Monks podcast. In this episode, I am speaking to Luke. And Luke happened to be wandering around the new community building that I have just moved into and saw. And his friend that he was visiting suggested that we do the podcast together. And it's quite funny because I then didn't realize, but I was like, I know that name, Luke Kohen. And then I realized that maybe 8 months previously, I started following him on Instagram. And I loved his content. So I was like, yes, definitely would love to talk to him. And so we sat down and just had a conversation about his path and his life story. And yeah, great, many insights, traveled down many different paths, saw a lot, so many deaths, so many rebirths, and a lot of truth. We really get to speak on, the traps, the different traps that we find ourselves in, that we may have personally ourselves gotten caught up in, and the distractions and the false light. We touched briefly on that one too. And then also just, about his, how he was very much into sport from a long time and from a young age. And then an injury just forced him to completely change his lifestyle, which tends to be the case these days with those of us on this path. It's just some kind of illness or something spontaneously taking place. But I love the clarity in which he speaks about these very important global topics and the wider perspective on what's playing out in our reality in a really clear and elegant way. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so welcome to the New Monks podcast.
Grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Serendipitous.
Very serendipitous. I love it.
Yeah.
You just happen to be in the building, in the space, and I've been following you online for a while as well, and very aligned and appreciative of everything you share. And I can't believe I only discovered you recently because I was like, wow, this guy's been posting it for a while now.
Yeah. It's been a slow cook. Totally.
So just before we begin, I'd like to just take a few deep breaths and then we can continue. Love that. And then, yeah, just how are you feeling right now?
Finding myself landing after in more presence after like a lot of doing, packing to leave for a longer trip is always confronting for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
a little bit. I'm like, I have to decide what to leave behind and what to take with me, and I feel the 5 locations that I have things in storage.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been nomadic since
Wow.
2017. And 2025 is coming in for a landing. Yeah, there's a base emerging. So. And it wasn't like I decided to be nomadic. It was really guided. I've had periods of landing for, I lived in Bali for a while and through the whole pandemic. But me like renting an actual place that was my own, that ended in 2017. I've either been in community or bopping between villas in Bali, or attempted to rent a house in Austin for a season, and that expired and was no longer correct. So,
that's quite a long time.
Yeah. Yes, it has been. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you off to now?
Going to New York to visit my birth family.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas, right?
Yeah, I haven't done a Christmas in 6 years with them.
Wow.
Yeah. So it feels very meaningful.
Wow, it's a long time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sweet. I've been in a big repair with my family and have mended everything. So I can really enjoy them and love them exactly as they are, and be with them exactly as I am. And there's no, like, I feel the culmination of the inner work because I actually, yeah. And even my nephew, who's very tapped in, I've shared a lot over the years. He's like, I was like waiting for the reaction to help me. Like, oh, here it comes. And then you didn't react. So whatever you're doing, it's like showing,
Oh, your nephew said that to you?
Yeah. He's a very spiritually mature being. He's like soul family. That's also family.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the family's always a tricky one, especially around Christmas. It's like,
Yeah, it can be.
yeah, it can be.
There's that old quote, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a weekend with your parents.
Yeah.
And I feel the like integration of something very big in my process because I can be with them now. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to, try to change or fix. It's just really actually a huge return to the love for them. And
That's so cool.
yeah, because I've had a lot of charge towards my
Yeah.
specifically my mother throughout my life. That's like the bulk of taking responsibility in your work has been re-examining that source point of trauma, and that side of my lineage specifically has been quite dense.
It's interesting because I think a lot of the time it's always still the other person's problem, when actually the magic is like realizing that it's in our control,
Right.
and it's in our power.
Right. And I had one mentor who was very big on, like, we don't need to do it with the other, work it out with the other. Like, you try to, but there's also something, I have had friends that do that too, that like stuck it out and stayed in connection and like burn through all the dense stuff, obviously take breaks and integrate and come back. But, I had quite a long walkabout where I was almost slightly estranged from my family in some ways. And they would get me for doses, and because they knew I would leave, they would be on better behavior, and it worked for everybody for that period of time. Where it's like, okay, he's going on another quest,
Adventure,
so let's, not, let's not come sideways or be weird why he's here, because we only have him for a few days. So everyone, and then super loving experiences that way. It's the prolonged connection where people's subconsciouses kind of can default, and you get into the familiarity of the patterning and things like that it's harder to be with family. I know my dosages of how much time, but with my sister, at least, we have a really awesome friendship now, sibling, because I was a weird sort of, my mom had me at 42 years old, and so my sisters were both quite older than me, so I was almost like raised by like 3 moms in some ways. So mom, sister mom, and sister mom too. Yeah. So there was this really beautiful healing that we can be siblings together, co-stewarding my parents' end of life. They're in that stage of transitioning, and so to be able to not be in like, not just younger brother not like surrogate son, because she was karmically quite like my mother in many ways, because my birth mother was a little bit checked out, so she kind of co-raised me in a very particular way. So to have a sibling relationship with her, also another great like evidence of the inner work, and like
as in it changed.
yeah,
from
it healed into an actual sibling
sibling.
relationship, as opposed to like her trying to keep me in a role as like her being kind of like surrogate mother and having some kind of resentment around all the responsibility of that, and you know, feeling like I'm not grown up. You know, she's like actually seen that I've grown up. It took as long as it did, which is fine. It's not about how I'm being perceived by her. It's the lived experience of actually like relaxing into each other's friendship and being siblings for the first time, really, in the last couple of years.
I mean, it's interesting you're talking about this. I was just speaking to someone earlier today, and she was kind of saying, yeah, they don't really get along. And I was asking, like, has your inner work kind of reflected in the family? And she was like, not really. So like, how was it for you? Did it take a while to get to that point? Like,
really long time. Yeah, like I'm not going to judge it, but yes, I started to feel myself going into like a little judgment around why did it take.
Yeah, it takes as long as it takes.
It takes us. Yeah, you can't rush a blossoming. You know, it's really
yeah, it's so true.
It is you know, and everyone's family's dysfunction is completely different.
Yes.
You know, it's like it's such a unique soul thing. You know, I think you know, we are the ones that incarnated and chose our family. Like I really believe that we choose our families, choose our parents, and you know, many you know, beings, whether they remember that choice or not, that's the way that I understand it. We choose our families, and we learn about the collective pain body, and we learn about the collective unconscious through the dysfunction of our own families and lineages. So the soul has this conscious experience of entering into a particular framework of learning. And so it's like you picked your university as a soul. And that's the setup with a family, is like you can't escape those contracts. You know,
that's so true.
You can leave friendships, you can, you know, but there's such a deep energetic tie to family that there's no avoiding yourself.
That's so true.
You know, and if you do cut off and you go estranged, there's something always haunting you. Like you'll bring that to your deathbed. If you haven't talked to your brother in 20 years, or if you like completely severed from your father. And some souls need to do that. It's so toxic or violating or, you know, abusive, and abuse comes in many forms. And it has different expressions. It's not always violent. Neglect is a form of abuse. You know, and so depending on our framework of our lessons, the different kinds of abuse that we endure, there's no metric of how it's supposed to look. You don't have to work it out with them in connection. You don't have to, you know, it's really for each soul to discern for themselves. I was always inspired by the people that chose to go back and like be in the discomfort of relationship and kind of meet themselves through the mirror. And it may take some time being out of connection completely and reforging oneself with the right support around you, so that those sort of subconscious triggers are less at the surface. There's less material that's easily poked. So by the time you go back in, it's like you can see it, like it's like a mile away, and you're like, I know that. It's like it doesn't even have a chance to land in your field, because you've, you know, purified it out of your own energy field. So interesting dojo. Family systems.
I know. I totally agree. I think that's so true. Like the family, for some reason, it's like you just, even if you try, you cannot escape from your family. Like it's your family, you know. And that's the fascinating thing about it, is that you're not always similar. You don't always get on. You're not.
You have completely different values.
Yeah, exactly. But
like, who are you people? I don't belong. You know, like there's a lot of starseed kind of black sheep, psychedelic sheep of the family that are like, totally. I do not belong here, and therefore don't feel like they belong on Earth, because their core tribe has been reflecting the collective distortion in their most immediate, most intimate relationships, where they learned about love.
Yes. But again, obviously, that's what we came here for at the university. But like
one of the curriculums, one of the core curriculums, for sure. Yeah, it's like
big one as well.
Yeah, one of the core curriculums that we can't escape.
Yeah,
it shapes so much of our reality.
Yeah,
our subconscious forms in that environment. You know, and so
yes,
the interesting thing about, you know, growing up, not from like developmentally, but like as a spiritual adult, like part of growing up is we have to inevitably revisit the material of our subconscious. We have to go back into our family systems. It's even if we don't talk to our family, it shows up in every relationship.
Yeah, I know you can't. This is exactly,
literally can't escape it.
Yeah, and you might not realize it until you
most
kind
people
of start to
people don't until the pattern smacks them in the face like enough times. We're like, oh wait, I'm the common denominator in all these relationships.
Yeah, it's like, hang on, why is this happening again?
I thought I learned this lesson.
Literally.
And what
there's no escape.
It's interesting because the human sort of egoic structure wants to blame until it can't. It's just too hard to feel the feelings and take responsibility for them.
It's like an archetype. It's a pattern that's just been ongoing.
It's a collective coping strategy that has an individual expression. Yeah, it's like when we're really faced with ourselves and it's too painful
for us
to like reconcile the level of pain. We have to like kind of lash outwards. Yeah, and this is kind of where spiritual family comes in. So we leave our birth family, and then we find our tribe or our spiritual family. Yeah, and we play out the same dysfunction in a safer way.
Yeah,
it's like the charge of emotions has like a little more leniency to be expressed. There's a little more spaciousness to actually be who we are within our experience, even if it's, and we shed degrees and layers of the same kind of toxicity can show up, but it's slightly different. Because consciousness in life is trying to get us to see it. And if we didn't have that little bit more spaciousness, we might not see it. We would just completely be looping and reliving down to a T, because part of our nervous system actually is. But then there's that little bit of gap in awareness that allows the light of consciousness to come through, enter into that space.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think even within that, there's still finding the right environment, because sometimes it can still be like a bit toxic and just like, I can't be here.
100%.
Even within the spiritual.
And that's a beautiful realization too, to actually set a boundary or remove yourself from something that you couldn't remove yourself from as a little one.
Yes.
Yeah. So the setup is, and this is something that a mentor said to me and I share with people that I support and I love as a framework of consciousness evolution of the soul, is we're here to reparent. Our soul's here to reparent ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
So our soul reparents our subconscious. Yeah. And that's
there's a lot of that going on.
Right. And when we come into a conscious awareness of it and like an authentic relationship with it, it can really shift the degree of suffering we have or not in life. When you're like, oh, this is the journey I'm actually on. It's not this projected image of some idealistic state of enlightenment or some kind of, also the trap of creating a new spiritual identity that's more sophisticated than the old sort of egoic structure, is just replaced with a shinier one with malas. It's there's a lot of traps.
There's a lot of traps
on the journey. Yes,
there's a lot of traps. I'd love to talk about that.
We can totally dive into traps. It's one of my favorite things to talk about.
I was like, woo. Yes, that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But just I feel like with my family as well, it's changed a lot. And before there was a lot of judgment. Sure. And also because I'm doing different, and also like I'm a creative, and it's just a bit of a different path. And I think over the years, I started to notice that they were more forgiving and accepting of me.
Right.
And it's just like, no, it's just
we're bodies of water. Amazing, right. So as we know through Emoto's work,
yes,
the molecular structure, the coherence of the cells changes based on thought and emotion. So if you're putting something out differently toward your family, they feel that, even if they're not conscious of it.
Oof. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's like, and even if we do that towards someone that we really, really dislike, and we really get committed to what aspect of this being is a mirror to something I don't like in myself or whatever, and it's interesting because we're in this age of like really confronting systemic issues and traumas and, global patterns of like oppressive systems. So this, it's tricky to get into non-dual teachings, and it's tricky to get into the material.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
That is like encouraging self-responsibility because
and it's triggering.
Because it doesn't enable victimization consciousness.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah.
And
that's the shit. That's the shift.
Right.
Like,
Right. And every human being is working out a percentage of
Victim,
victimization.
but
And that's another collective archetypal
theme,
thing that as souls we have to live through the
another
dismantling.
university.
Yeah. One of the other curriculums
Yeah, exactly.
is transcending victimization, no
Yeah.
matter what has happened to you.
Yeah, literally no matter what.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that assume that I haven't been through things.
Dude, I literally posted this on Instagram like yesterday, and I wrote
Yeah.
like on it because
Yeah.
people judge you thinking, "Oh, this is really easy.
Oh,
you can say that."
100%, whatever.
like,
Yeah.
you don't
A lot of
know.
assumptions and projections.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
They don't know your lived experience.
Yeah.
How could you?
Yeah, and almost as if it's like it's so rare because it's like almost impossible. Like you couldn't have like
how could you be that loving or forgiving or joyful
that's
or
not realistic,
or the perspective that's being given from the soul's vantage point is incomprehensible to like a conventional mind that's trapped in that kind of identity.
Yeah, that's true.
It completely interrupts their reality. Of course they're going to be like, freak you, because they try to find some kind of fault in you because what you're presenting is threatening to their identity. And that's in any kind of worldview situation. That's what's really being defended is identity. That's the loss of connection that happens in the illusion of separation. Is our identities.
Yep.
And so when we have a vantage point that's actually has been forged through the lived experience of the soul, and we can speak from that resource place, it either inspires or it's completely confronting, depending on the listener. It's either like, oh my God, that's exactly the medicine I need to hear because it can stoke the flame of their soul's awareness, or it completely confronts their identity structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. I feel like this has totally happened to me with a friend thinking like I've had it easy because he was in a difficult place.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a way I feel like he wasn't taking anything.
He was lost in his own experience.
Yeah. And it's like, actually I've been there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I always say my version because it can feel invalidating to someone's experience of like, oh, I've been there. And they're like, like it's like unfathomable to someone inside of that experience. I've lived through my version of something like what you're going through. Usually what I say. Because we never could have the same exact experience.
Of course.
Even if we have in that moment. Because it's unique to their own experience.
Yeah, because we're so intricately different.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've looked into human design at all. I've been enjoying this as a framework of deconditioning. The last 3 years, I've been going deeper into that and using it to translate for some themes. And I find that because there's different types, right? And so generators, I'm learning that generators and seeing the evidence of it are very absorbed in their own process. And they're not self-absorbed from like necessarily like a hyper narcissistic way or anything. They're just very in their own experience. Whereas like projectors are very penetrating into other people's experience and they're kind of seeing what's going on in someone else. And they're less self-aware. Generators are like, we're hyper self-aware. And so because we're so in our own experience, sometimes it's harder to be present to someone else's experience unless you develop that skill of learning how to, and you actually value being interested in someone else. They're usually so absorbed in their own experience. And especially when you throw that in the context of the spiritual community where people are looping and looping and looping and reaffirming their victim narrative or their enlightenment path narrative or their medicine narrative or whatever they've created as a construct for their identity, they have to talk about it and bounce it off other people to reaffirm their reality. And so they're not actually attuning to other beings and where they are in their own, and where someone else is in their own experience. They're either trying to convince someone else of a truth or reaffirm their own identity.
Yeah, I feel like that is so common as well.
Yeah. It's rampant.
Yeah. So back to the traps. Yeah. What did you find yourself personally?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've stepped in many bear traps. Yeah.
Love that.
I stepped in a bear trap I didn't know, and it took me like 5 years to realize that my ankle was inside of like a spiritual bear trap.
Oh my God, I love it. Which one was that?
Metaphor without relative, specific thing. Just
just like the spiritual.
Yeah, just I mean, I can hone in on different lessons and share some of the traps I lived through, but when I shared that metaphor just now, I wasn't thinking of like a specific thing. I was just like, yeah, I've had some bear traps that were locked onto me for like a number of years.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if there's any like specific lineages or anything that you might have gone into and found, like.
Yes. Yes, I've definitely been initiated into different lineages, and lineage is both a gift and can also be a trap.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's there. It's I'm finding at this stage in my spiritual awakening, or I'd say spiritual disillusionment.
Oof. Hey, that's it.
It's just a series of disillusionments.
Yeah.
The lineage can be like training wheels that you eventually have to take
Mm.
off and let go of. Yeah, lineage can be like a really necessary crutch while you have a broken leg, and then sometimes don't want to let go of the crutch. Yeah. Lineage can be a beautiful bridge across a raging river, and then you get to the other side and you're scared to walk away from the bridge.
Yeah.
And I find now it's like what's still true is still true.
Yes.
Like
Always,
I've
right?
gone through so many dark nights of the soul. It's like, okay, what came back that was still true without grasping, like not like, oh, I need to like hold on to this mantra or this kind of qigong practice or this idea about the spiritual path, or
Yeah.
that there was like things authentically reemerged that I was still resonant with
Yeah.
and still serve me, and things
Yeah.
that completely fell away that I would never think would fall away, that my identity was
Interesting.
merged with. It was like, oh,
Wow.
I'm self-identify in this. It's like, this particular plant medicine is part of who I am, or whatever the external thing is that's re-emphasizing the illusion of separation is, yeah. So when, yeah, lineage is like, I want to reinforce that lineage is absolutely necessary and beautiful, and because we're in such a unique moment in time, and then we're in a different subsect of initiatic processes that's different than any other age.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
lineages that come over
Yeah.
from the Piscean era into this Aquarian paradigm that have good tools,
Yeah.
but if you get too indoctrinated
Yeah. Yeah.
inside of the system,
Mm.
you're going to miss the valuable opportunity to
Yes.
be in an Aquarian
Oh,
ascension process, which is very different than a
oh,
Piscean one.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's the problem I have with a lot of things. It's like, it's taking you only so far.
yeah.
And then it's like, but from what I'm hearing from like this new information that's coming through, like now in real time,
Yeah.
it's a whole different thing,
I wonder if it's new or if it's just emerging. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
new it actually is.
Yeah, because it could be ancient. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
It's
we've done it before.
nonlinear wisdom.
Yes,
Is
non-linear. Yeah,
Yeah, wisdom that's just transcendental. But I think there
Yes.
is a unique, the newness that you're talking about is how do we,
It's news compared to
right. It's a
what we
different,
have. Yeah.
yeah. I like what like for me again, from my own orientation within consciousness, and as I discover my role within my human experience, having had to integrate many awakening and disillusionments,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that integration is the difference. Like, how do we actually
Yes.
embrace our foundational humanity, whereas in a lot of the other, it's like transcendence is the projected goal and outcome, is like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll
Yeah.
just transcend
Transcend.
society, or
Yeah.
transcend my pain, or transcend,
Yeah. Even like the whole monk vibe of
yeah,
like just
removing yourself from
self.
the world, right?
Exactly.
Which had its place in the Piscean era.
This is exactly. I totally
Yeah,
agree. Like
yeah.
it makes sense, but now I'm like, does it make sense?
Well, what's different now, as I understand it and as I've lived through it, for example, like I was sharing when we were talking earlier, I was talking about how I did an 8-day dark room recently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I removed myself,
Yeah.
but I came back.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And I came
Came
back
back.
with more of myself.
And then when you come back, there is this room for integration.
Well, I didn't even have a choice.
Exactly, right?
My personality mind was like, oh, after the dark room, we're going to go to Istanbul and do this thing. And then after that, we're going to go. And like, I got out of the dark room
And
I was like, my body needs to stay on this land for another, like, and much to the resistance of my personality, who prefers to be in some kind of high achieving mode, even though I know that's not the truth of who I am. It's just, I prefer to be doing things. And yet life is like, you actually need to like keep your phone off, be in stillness, journal your journal, and integrate.
Yeah.
And integration is extremely uncomfortable for the identity, because there's a part of where the soul is kind of finding its place within the incarnational experience,
Yeah.
And the identity can't control life when integration's happening. The identity is like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing that I've projected onto reality, that I've put all this energy towards. And then yet, if we're not attuned, then life is actually giving us other information. And integration is like where you get to meet the uncomfortable bits that will completely contradict the plans that you made. Whether that's a plan around your identity, a plan about the future, a plan about where you're going or what you're doing, anything in the external world, integration is so about bringing you back to like where the soul meets the body, where your soul meets your humanity, where you can't self-deceive and reformulate some kind of identity. Integration is the uncomfortable, necessary spiritual mature work that we're here to like. That's self-mastery in the Aquarian age, is integration.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, and again, it's sometimes missing.
Well, not only just to understand why people avoid it, why they're chasing phenomena, chasing experience, chasing the next overstimulated ego, identity affirming, reward center, externalized gratification, validation. Because there's no validation in integration. There's no spiritual cookie that you get when you do the hard integration work. Yeah. It's uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah. It's just honest. Yeah. Yeah. Which honesty actually leads to liberation. Yeah. Yeah. As you were speaking, I was just like, it's so trippy, like what's happening right now. Like, and I like the way you describe it. It's like the soul is coming back into the remembrance. So like, and it's sometimes with the ego and the identity, it's like this battle. It can be a little bit of a battle sometimes. Right. And it's just like, what's going on? Shuffling around in discomfort. Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you don't know that's what's happening, right? Yeah. I had a call with a client earlier who's such an amazing woman, and she's been preparing to leave her corporate job for like a few years, and she finally has like realized like, oh my God, like I don't need to prepare anymore. Like I actually have the tools and gifts and like what we've been culminating together in our container over the last few years. It's amazing. Like incredible. And then she was sharing about the disillusionment she had in a marriage maybe like 7 years ago, before she was quote unquote on the spiritual path. And because she's writing her story, I'm helping her, formulate her like offering to the world. Some of the kind of integration work is like your spiritual journey, but also how we're serving. Yeah, right? Like what are we actually doing in the world to contribute our gifts and live. And in her own self-reflection of her marriage story, she went through such a profound disillusionment. She talked about how she was like so fixated on this outcome, like I want the family, I want the kid, it's going to look like this, and he's handsome, and all the right things on paper, and then so completely dysfunctional, and unraveling, and how much of like a sense of failure that she had. Wow. But as she's sharing her story in this call, I'm feeling the truth that her soul, like I was like, hey, you realize that like you were already on your spiritual journey, then you just didn't know it because you were going through disillusionment. Yes, it was already unraveling. Yeah, and like how great that you got that out of the way then. That you're never going to go into a relationship with this fixed point of like identification of trying to objectify someone into this magical fantasy that you've been conditioned into. Yeah, that one's. So to not have any orientation that she was in an initiation makes it harder and more painful. And so thousands of people out there in the world are going through spiritual awakening and have no frame of reference for it. Oh, mate, I totally. And what I find fascinating as well, again, it's like it's so out there that even if you try to present it, sometimes they just can't even. No, it's too confronting to the worldview. But this is the thing of collapsing the duality of, if someone's on a conscious spiritual path, doesn't make them any better 100% from any other human being who's also on a spiritual path, just don't know it yet. Yes. Yeah. Are also going through their forms of disillusionment and soul growth. Yeah. And may never ever have the same words or cultural framework for it, but be growing just as much as someone else. Yeah, totally. And that's another interesting thing. Yeah, if even without that framework, we're still growing as a soul. and this is one of the traps, is that we're more endowed just because we're on
the traps.
we're consciously on a spiritual path.
Yeah.
It's the comparison, I'm better than righteous identity structure that can emerge being on a spiritual path. And that's usually the first thing that plays out with the family of like, don't you know how spiritual I am now?
Yeah.
I have the answers.
Yeah.
That's like one of the first egoic, spiritual egoic identities that formulates after the shedding of the old layer.
Yeah.
That first big layer that's crossed is like, first awakening happens, and you're like, I'm on a spiritual path. And like, they don't know, but I do. That's like the first trap.
Yeah.
That's the first one that enters in usually. And some people never leave that stage.
Yes.
They'll stay in that their whole life. I know, and they don't.
I mean, even to know that there are many traps again, it's another framework that's helpful, you know?
Right. There are healthy frameworks. There are definitely healthy frameworks, as long as we don't grasp and hold on to it. You know, like, I think the beauty of how intelligent life is in our evolutionary process as souls is that whether we have a framework or not, things are going to happen.
I know, so true. So you just mentioned the plant medicine. And I just wanted to ask you if that is what happened.
Yeah, I feel I've outgrown that space.
Exactly.
There was a very deep period in my life where it was. I'm actually working on a.
And you weren't expecting that?
No, absolutely not.
So interesting.
And I had a stages of it. So not only was I not expecting it, literally the medicine was like, go learn business and ground your visions. When I was like, I thought I'm supposed to be a shaman and serve medicine. Like, I was literally training with elders in the jungle and like going through all these intense initiations to become an ayahuasquero.
Wow.
And so I had formed a shamanic identity. And so to be like, no, you need to be an entrepreneur now, it was like that was the most confronting thing. Whereas right now it's like the inverse collectively. All these entrepreneurs are drinking ayahuasca and want to go off to do that. I was the inverse. I was like deep in spiritual medicine work for like 9 years.
Wow.
And then was like asked to go into the world. So I had like the opposite sort of path. And that was really hard for that stage of that spiritual identity that had crystallized.
Wow.
As like medicine man.
So, and when you got that message, how long did it take you to actually fully accept?
Well, it came along with probably the biggest initiation in my life. That wasn't like because of that, or they were just simultaneously happening. Like, I went through a really intense band breakup and like lost the two closest people in my life through relational alchemy back to back within 4 months. And then was like, I had just opened my coaching practices for the first time. This is like 2015. And so I started to try on, like I started to move in the direction of becoming an entrepreneur and entering the coaching industry and like stepping into that space. And then this massive breakup happened like 3 weeks later, which like cracked me open. And I'd say that's when an aspect of my higher self started to like land in my body. And I was sort of pendulating between like a fetal position and like, I'm an avatar on the earth again. I know who I am. And like feeling more life force surging through my body than I've ever felt, and being like unwilling to go into a victim narrative around what was happening. And then I would completely go into collapse and then expansion and collapse. It was like this, like almost like like the universe was playing me like an accordion until it finally like the pulse started to like slow down. And then I was in a new reality. I literally moved to a whole new state and was like in a complete new reality shortly after that. And I saw the perfection of that as well. Like, I need to be so completely out of my comfort zone and in a completely unfamiliar place for that next phase of that initiation. And it was also a big initiation for me because I had never known how to make money. And all of a sudden I was making money for the first time in my life.
What?
Like at a high level. And it was like really confronting. And there was a moment where my ego latched onto that. And then the ancestors were like, remember what you're making this money for, bro. Like, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, stewardship. Okay, well, how do I balance these worlds? So my path has been very interesting in that a lot of the things that I've been asked to like have an integrated mastery around, I've never chose consciously. Like, even becoming a healer, I had a massive healing crisis in college when I was 22. and I was forced onto the spiritual path. It wasn't like,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
I'd love to hear about this. 'Cause I'm
yeah,
always intrigued that because some people I feel like they are very have it from when they were younger. But others it's like
that too. But I did have it when I was young. It
Yeah.
just got locked away,
yeah, of course.
right? But yeah, I mean, essentially, I'd say that there were some very peak moments of my soul's presence that were online from a very early age. But just growing up in New York City and in that kind of toxic masculine culture, and like, you know, I had like a period where I was very in like a gang world and selling
Wow.
drugs and living in, you know, graffiti, kind of the
Sports.
whole, yeah, like highly competitive sports. And then because it was such an unsafe neighborhood and I was so deep in that culture, um, you know, I just like dealt with certain threats from such a young age on the basketball court that I like, well, first it was like a soul impulse. So when I was 8 years old, I told my parents, I said, "Hey, I'm 8 years old. You have to send me to the Shaolin Temple." And they were like, "What are you talking about? Have you seen some kind of movie?" I was like, "No, I'm 8 years old. It's time to go to the Shaolin Temple." And they were like,
No way.
so soul impulse, some kind of past life, right?
Because
My
that's isn't that the age of Dalai Lama? Like
I don't know. I think at 8 years old, a lot of kids go to, like, that's when
Okay,
their
that's the thing.
parents send them
Okay.
to the, you know, monastery,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So some kind of internal clock, soul memory, and they're like, you know,
Not this time.
yeah. My dad enrolls me in like YMCA karate, and I come home and I'm like, this will not do. This is absurd. Are you kidding me? This is bullshit.
This is not
And
the
then
real deal.
yeah, and then he finds like a legit like Aikido dojo, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, this is the environment I need to be in. And so I
My
started
God, I
training in
love that.
Aikido from 8 to about 12, had a year off, and then got jumped really bad in my neighborhood after playing some competitive basketball, and then found out about this other martial art that was through my parish. So even though I have a Jewish last name, I was raised Roman Catholic, and there was a guy in our parish who taught this rare esoteric ancient Indian martial art.
What?
Yeah, so like unheard of to most
I
people.
didn't
It's
even.
called Vada,
Wow.
which means the slayer to kill with open hands in Sanskrit. So it's this like very sorcery, like strike a marma point, kill someone, fight multiple opponents as a skinny person kind of ancient martial art from northern Himalayan region. It's not South style like Karali, which is very integrated and has the Ayurvedic side and, you know, Abhyanga, and like, you know, the gurus like, you go heal and you go fight, you know, like you learn both the healing and the martial, and this is just pure deadly martial. So I think it was the karma of that, of training in this repetitive stress movement, high competitive martial artist, basketball player, track runner. I became like that same kind of high performance identity structure. I was destroying my body, didn't know it, didn't know I had a hypersensitive nervous system, plus I was abusing substances. So this is like from 13 to college, I'm in this pushing of myself and training and, you know, in this very esoteric, crazy, you know, thing. And I'm reading Cosmonaut and eating mushrooms at 14.
Wow.
So I'm going through a very like interesting set of shamanic initiations very early. And then I get to college, and 2 weeks into my freshman year, 9/11 happens, and I lose my brother-in-law, who is the only safe person in my family structure. He's like my big bro. He knew me since I was an infant. So, because he was outside of my family, he married into
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
sister,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he was like my soul brother. And
Wow.
he's like this
Oh
big,
my days.
big, beautiful bear. And we would just wrestle and do Lego. And like he would like, and as I got older, you know, we'd have our own special, you know, trips and, you know, moments. And so, yeah, so I lost the closest person in my life. That was the safest person in my family 2 weeks into my freshman year. And I went from, you know, just absolutely crashed into depression and substance abuse, joined a fraternity, like from like a looking for brotherhood, because I had been around the firehouse and I thought, you know, some kind of unconscious impulse for like brotherhood, and it was totally toxic. And by the end of my 4 years of uni, my body gave out and I manifested a spinal injury. So I went from being this agile 13 full court games of basketball a day, lifting, sparring, grappling, training, track running, to like walking with a cane overnight. And in that period, I got completely depressed because, you know, my physical body and all my identities as an athlete, as a martial artist, as like all these identities that I had formed, especially in that like high performance kind of very competitive drive, were annihilated. And so I was completely depressed. But in that period, there was a grace that came. and the acceptance of my situation.
Yeah.
And I had subconsciously, something had started ripened, and I started to investigate herbal teas and different teas. I had bought myself a cast iron teapot at TJ Maxx for a birthday certificate, and I was like, "What is it? I want this. This is dope." It was like a cast iron teapot, and I put it underneath my samurai sword on the wall, and I was into Asian martial arts, so it was like cool,
Makes sense, yeah.
And I started drinking tea, and one day I'm drinking green tea out of this cast iron teapot, and I come into complete acceptance of my situation after weeks and weeks of like fighting reality as it was and trying to hold on to this identity. And I dropped into the living stillness of the universe for the first time. And in that place, I went inward, and time stopped, and I could see where my soul had been with me my whole life up until that point, and then access a deeper soul memory of being a Taoist hermit in a cave in a past life.
Wow.
And it's like his eyes opened, and that part of me came back, and I was here, and I was like, I came back from that, it could have been 30 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. I don't know. Like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. Like every peak experience of psychedelics, of sexuality, of, flow states on the basketball court, like this experience just obliterated all the most peak experiences I ever had. And I had quite a bit of peak experiences for like a young person comparatively to the average human being.
Yeah,
like,
just what through all the sports,
mushrooms, LSD, and then also running, hike, just when you're in the flow state in sports is a real thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also being neurodivergent and having ADHD, having pristine focus and presence is like revelatory when you're used to being disassociated and distracted, and all of a sudden you're like fully here. I was like, this is it. This is like a sobering moment. So that's where my awakening happened. And it's not like we wake up and then we're done. That's where it started. Right? So I come out of that with what the yogis call momoksha, which is a burning desire for enlightenment. Like, I don't want anything else. 2 days later, I'm given a copy of Autobiography of a Yogi. Read that within a week, and then
amazing book.
Oh yeah, full darshan. And then I basically disaffiliate from my fraternity, stop eating meat, watching TV, doing cocaine, smoking weed, like within like a few days of reading the book, and just like was like, I'm never gonna enter the 9-to-5 world. I'm gonna be miserable. Graduate college. And by the way, I'm going to doctors. I'm going to all these people to find out what's wrong with me. And none of them can tell me. You're going to need a hip replacement when you're 30. We don't know what's wrong with you. Some kind of, just like no answer. And the only thing that was giving me relief was yoga. So I graduate, start waiting tables, go to India, and never look back. And that was, almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
And since then, it's been kind of just retracing all the lineages that my soul has walked through and having visceral past life kind of memories and
remembrance.
Yeah, just that's reclaiming it. And then initiations that were more about bringing me back into my humanity and actually being able to relate. Because I got so out there with the medicine work and all this mysticism and like meeting these crazy masters that were giving me like full transmissions and not knowing how to integrate it and just getting more and more removed in some ways from the world. And then before that big initiation that I had in 2015, it was like my partner at the time, she's the grace of the guru that was like, you're a man and you're a human being and you need to learn how to relate. You need to learn how to be here. I developed a really strong spiritual teacher mask and a really strong healer identity and this whole tribal community builder identity. All these identities that were just stacked. And when that breakup happened, it cracked me open and I had to really get honest with my wounding, like really honest. And I had been through breakups and been devastated many times already, but that was like the one that was like, dude, you have work to do. And you're not like, I don't care how enlightened you think you are. Like you have deep abandonment issues. You have, major blind spots that you need to check up. And so I'm like super grateful to that sister for being the through line to really enter into my human experience at a new level. So that was where like a whole new body of work opened up of like learning to be here.
So what was that experience like? Of like, not being really here. Do you know what I mean? Like what?
I mean, so
did you know it at the time as well? Or?
No, I mean, we don't really know what kind of experience that we're in when we're inside of our experience until we have enough of like
the distance
to look back at it, right? So I can speak from it from two angles. So I ended up apprenticing in core energetics therapy for about 15 years. I was still in my training around this time, and there's different characterologies in that system of like the ways that we cope with our environment and try to survive a reality as children. And those strategies become these defense structures, or they kind of merge with our egoic identities and whatever. It's just nervous system stuff, like how we manage reality, right? So there's a pattern to particularly schizoid wounding, which is one of the frameworks of understanding. And a schizoid, for example, will be in the mother's womb, and mom's having second thoughts.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how safe I feel here. I don't know if my husband's really in this with me, our finances, whatever. And that's actually going into the nervous system in utero. And so when they're born, they're like, I'm going to keep this tethered to spirit world because I don't know about this physical reality. Right? Unconscious, subconscious, like before there's cognitive thought, there's already this reaching out to the formlessness. And those of us that have that characterology are very psychic, are very tapped in, because we had this crown chakra opening, reaching the spirit world when we entered into this world. When we entered the body, we were already half in spirit to begin with. So for people with that characterology structure, learning how to be here is your life's work for a body of it. I'm still landing in my body after 41 years.
So, and what does it mean? Because like, it's hard to describe, really, is it, in words?
It means that there's a propensity for disassociation and going up and out of the body, as opposed to anchoring down and in.
So like you said, it was in relation, like learning to relate. How does it play out? You know.
So yes. Okay. So, well, that's a whole other subsect. So like all the factors that bring us out of connection, right? So if our identity is trying to protect us from feelings and we're in survival, relating with another being, we're confronted with our blind spots, right? And if we're not able to take responsibility for the pain that we're in, we can deflect, we can be better than, we can check out of our body, we can numb, we can lash out. There's a million ways that we can be in a relationship that's not in harmony or in connection. And so the way that the schizoid does that is by leaving the body or being so much better than everybody else, it doesn't have to feel. Right? So with the teacher mask and the healer mask, I was like, I'm better than everyone, so you can't hurt me. Right? Or like whatever it was. And there was that wasn't the only one at play. There was many at play at that time. Wow. And so when I got cracked open, it was like I had to look at a whole other subsect of wounding, and all the psychedelic plant medicine work was just you're just going up and out, up and out, and up and out, and up and out, not down and in, not down and in, down and in. And so this is part of why I transitioned out of that work, because it's like life was like, you need to be down and in, bro, like all the way down, all the way in. That's the path now. Yeah. And dismantling dissociative patterns when you're a hyper creative, hypersensitive being, it's like you're looking at every way that you've been anchored into the familiarity of threat. Yes. And hypervigilance. Oof. And all the ways that we scan our environments, and we go to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Yeah. And fawn is safety. Looking for safety unconsciously, not even knowing that you feel so unsafe that you're looking for safety in all these weird ways. Like you don't even realize it. You're just in the experience of your coping strategies, thinking that's reality.
I mean, it's amazing to hear you speaking about it in such detail, specific with your patterns, but I really feel like this is kind of happening for all of us.
Right.
Like we are
different manifestations of that kind of framework. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Different ways that our defense structures are managing our reality.
Yeah. And the safety, not feeling safe, like just the world that we live in.
Right. Yeah. And some people have a little bit more natural safety in the body.
Yeah.
In human design, it's like the spleen definition. There's different centers in human design. So you have a root center and a sacral and all these different centers, right? And so the spleen center in that system, people without a spleen, and it doesn't mean that you don't have a physical spleen in reality, it's just the spleen center in human design. Just to clarify, it's not physical, it's an energetic. It's basically your body graph in human design is like your aura.
Yeah.
And where you're susceptible by your environment and other people, and where you're being impacted by or impacting based on your definition. And so people that don't have a defined spleen tend to feel a lot less safe in their body and uncomfortable in their body. And people that have a spleen, a little more like are a little more relaxed in their body. They're a little more like here naturally.
Yeah.
They have a little more hardiness, a little more resilience naturally in their
Mm.
nervous system. Whereas people without spleens, we tend to have more sensitive nervous systems.
Yeah, that's such a good distinction, actually, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's interesting, because like there's like this empath thing, but then there's also this sensitivity and like always been on a bit like
Right.
getting triggered easily and like
Yeah. That takes time to work that stuff out. And it's a trickier path for hypersensitive people. We're wired differently. One of my mentors is like, you do different oil for like a Ferrari than you would for like a Nissan. It's like hypersensitive, highly empathic beings, and part of why we're so drawn to spirituality again is, I think, is that wound signature. It's we're a smaller percentage of the collective population. That's why we think we're better than. There's a whole bunch of reasons why we have certain subsects and challenges that are maybe a little more nuanced than there's the things that all human beings are going to have to look at.
Yeah.
The empaths and the hypersensitive are leaders that haven't embraced their leadership because they're wired to see the distortions more acutely than those that are in a deeper density. So they're like the canary in the cultural cage that the collective can't hear. And so they either go into isolation or addiction or whatever to cope with the cultural distortions that they actually agreed to dismantle by coming to this incarnational experience.
Yeah, but even when you say that, I'm like, this is another thing. I feel like people might thinking, oh, you're just like up there out of when actually, it's just like a different bandwidth of.
Yeah. People that have denser nervous systems can't fathom the amount of stimulation and information that a hypersensitive nervous system has to navigate.
Oof. Yes.
Just like if you've never had a healing crisis, you can't comprehend someone that's having a healing crisis, and you'd be like, oh, just get over it, or whatever. You have adrenal fatigue, and let's just drink a coffee and let's go to the thing. No, it's like they're in their experience. When you're in a healing crisis, your soul is the only real thing that you can rely on, and have to go on your journey of figuring out how to heal yourself. Like no doctor, you might get the grace of an amazing acupuncturist or naturopath or someone along the way that's like healed themselves, that has had the embodied experience of resolving something that can give you some pointers. But that's for each individual to learn how to heal themselves, totally. Right? So in the same way that someone that's never had a healing crisis and lost their ability, like the illusion of control is shattered.
Yeah, I experienced that.
So many people on the spiritual path that's one of the top catalyzers, right? And I was thinking about like the last 4 years of like when the whole thing got rolled out. I was like, oh, this is going to be the pattern of awakening for a ton of beings. Like it's kind of like where it started. Like, where did it start? I'm like, this okay. When your body breaks down, shit gets real. Shit gets real. It's one of the biggest ways to interrupt the identity and get the soul in line.
Yeah, and also to see all of the lies and the truth in the external world,
Right.
Like, because I had the same thing. Body started changing. Doctors didn't know what. Like, they don't know. You don't know.
And then when you share your experience, people are so it's like, sorry, I've been gaslit,
dude. I was literally having this conversation the other day so many times.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where it's like, I just try to love people where they are in their experience. And like,
it's true.
Western medicine saved my life, and it also nearly killed me, like literally. So it's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, my paradigm is deeply rooted in holistic systems. I studied Ayurveda. I've been deep in these different traditions. I'm on a fully alkaline plant-based diet. I've been carnivore. I've done, I've tried every single thing to heal myself. And the thing that has helped me heal the most, and what I find for the people I work with, is getting into the soul material. It's all of those things are rivers to the ocean. That when we shift our identity structures, then we can heal in ways that nothing the personality could have conjured up, of like, oh, this perfect supplement, or if I just get rid of this thing, or like one more ayahuasca ceremony. It's like,
yeah, because I feel like that's the journey. That's the point, right? That's the purpose.
100%.
Yeah.
And to be on the journey and be into, like, again, one thing I really encourage a lot of my clients, friends, like, just find the orientation of discovery and curiosity versus get rid of or fix. If you can just shift your mindset from I need to get rid of, fix, or like the ways that we self-deceive through some kind of ideal that we impose on ourselves that we need to get to, and then we'll be lovable enough, or then we'll be healed enough, then we can give ourselves permission to do the thing we really want to do, or whatever, fill in the future projection. If we can learn to let go of that and the I need to fix or get rid of mentality to the learning to be with and accompany and sit with and meet,
100%.
then we cross a threshold of suffering into more relief. It's and curiosity and the willingness to be in discovery is extremely helpful in that case. Like, okay, let me be curious about this instead of trying to like fix it or get rid of it. Let me
inquire.
Just curiosity. And what kids are like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm discovering. Like that's where the ascension process can be joyful and like fun and meaningful. Of like, oh, what's this? And like where we can reclaim more of our innocence at a stage of where we never thought we could get it back, because we're so hard on ourselves and we're so hyper vigilant on the spiritual path of like all these ideals that we have to live towards,
and bringing more joy, playfulness.
That's it. Even Christ said it. To enter the kingdom of heaven, you must be like a child. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, exactly.
To become like a child again, we have to go back in and reclaim that child as the soul, bring those fragments back, those shattered parts of ourselves that have been frozen in time, and start to thaw them and hold them, and be with them, and breathe into them, and bring in the love that they never got as the source that we are. It's phenomenal.
I know, right?
It's like,
What a ride. So the thing you said about when you were 22, what I think is so interesting is like that it was sober. I think a lot of the times, when those things happen to you, when there's nothing's going on,
irrefutable.
It's and it's so powerful because I feel like we all deep down know that it's like we have to give the crutches up one day,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that experience is like, but then basically, so from that age, you still went on the plant medicine route as well, and
eventually,
later,
for me, it was kind of like, like I said, each sector of power, we'll say, sexuality, money, music, creative expression, leadership, community building, like every area where there's a responsibility and there's a holding of power. I've had to go through initiations by life themselves to come into an integrous relationship with.
Nice.
It wasn't something I could have conjured, like.
Well, yeah.
Some kind of weird neo-tantric, thing where it's like, I'm going to go to this workshop. It was like, no, like, you can't, your body won't let you do this anymore. You have to learn how to circulate your chi in this particular way. Otherwise you're going to burn out. Or, you can't use money in this way because there's instant karmic consequences that are irrefutable and evident to you. So like life is kind of like forging me into some kind of integrity that my ego didn't want to be in, but life was like demanding of me. Like, you need to grow up in these areas. But these are all areas that like a personality or ego can hang out on one of those things, like just hang out on the power of medicine, or just hang out on the power of money, or just hang out on the power of sexuality, or just hang out on the power of music, because music's also medicine, right? We all have a path of power that we're walking. We all have a path of power that we've been given to steward. And it's not easy to have been forged in multiple paths of power simultaneously. It's actually like world shattering, and having to put yourself back together again and again and again and again after like you think that you've made it into a new state of beingness.
Continuous, right?
Yes, and we do eventually cross a threshold of resolution, and I use that word, a threshold of resolution. Something actually resolves in the nervous system. It clicks over, and we're no longer looping in some particular way. And we know that we're going to face feelings, and we know that we're going to have a process, but the quality of it completely transforms. And that's a really awesome place to arrive at.
So when did that happen for you?
It's funny. It kind of happened after that big initiation. It's like, I think I faced my deepest fear that I could possibly, like, I experienced the thing I was most afraid of experiencing on some level.
The one when you're 22?
No, in 2015 with the breakup and all that.
Okay, fine.
It was like I definitely had some insane initiations after that, like near-death
Yeah,
experiences and another really bad breakup that was like, but there was a threshold of resolution that was crossed after I integrated that experience where it was like I would no longer resist certain things and I could grieve more effectively.
Okay, fine.
Because resistance can create suffering. If you're like grief is arising and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna grieve, it's like tension. But if you like grief is emerging and you can actually like the soul finds some satisfaction in it, then you're not suffering. You're just having the experience of grief.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Right. So people think of like enlightenment or, all these projected ideals of transcendence, like they're not going to have to feel their feelings anymore, or they're not going to have to deal with life's challenge. Like we're human and we're going to continue to deal with challenges, but the resourcefulness of the soul inside of the experience changes. Like there's more of us online and resourced to meet the things. And what was once unsafe is no longer unsafe.
Yes.
It's like that thing that we thought was so unsafe is now just a part of life. And then so you have a new base level floor to stand on. Then you go to another base level where you're like, oh, wow, my nervous system has more bandwidth than it ever has. And now I can take on more experience. And then you get to another threshold and, okay, there's more bandwidth and I'm able to nurture these parts of myself that I wasn't able to nurture at one point. And so I'm resourced enough to be with this next level of my process. And it doesn't have to derail you or, you don't have to go into collapse anymore after a breakup. You can love yourself in a different way through it and not have to like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I was just thinking as you were speaking, like your capacity to hold it just like
expands. It expands more and more and more because you get more and more out of your own way and you let go more and more of the illusion of control.
Yeah.
And so you learn how to abide in the current of life's information in a new way. You're like, oh, that is an egoic identification that will bring me down this path. I know where that leads. Let me not indulge that thought form and that way of operating. Oh, there's the smaller whisper of my soul. Let me listen to that voice. Even though it's confronting and or more uncomfortable and not my desired outcome, I know what happens when I ignore that voice. Right? Like those are the things that start to change, where we're so much more attuned to the voice of our soul than the monkey mind or the identity.
Yeah. And it's a phrase as well, that saying, it's like it's not that there's less pain or there's less suffering, it's just your relationship to it changes. But it kind of is as well.
There's a cessation of suffering.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because suffering is arising from resistance. And if you're not resisting your experience, even the pain can be pleasurable at times. Because it's your soul's fully having the experience.
Yes, because exactly. Yeah.
And it's easier when it comes to emotions than I think physically for some people, and for other people it's easier emotionally and harder physically.
Yeah.
The things that discourage us, the things that invoke victimization, and we're in it and we don't even realize how deep in our victim we are. Like that's when we suffer. When we're because once we're in victimization, we are not connected to source. Consciously. We are always.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But when we're inside of the experience of victimization, we're in separation. We're in deep separation. So it's a good, like for me, I try to track when I go into that because I have Jewish lineage. I have so many things that were like really good at being victims.
Yeah.
And we all have some ancestral pattern of victimization that has been handed down through our lineages.
I mean, it's the way it was all set up.
And also the way that we tried to balance that out. Yeah. The ways that we try to compensate.
Yeah.
It's gnarly too. It's just an equal trap. Yeah. So identifying where this victimization is a great indicator of where the material actually is that's keeping us in separation. And what in the moment we take self-responsibility inside of those things, we get empowered.
Yeah.
That's how we heal it. And sometimes we heal it by having very healthy anger, which is a lot more, it's like moving from the collapse into the fire. It's like sometimes we need to get some of that fire back in order to move out of victimization. That's why you see all this backlash and all this like, fuck you energy. Like, like it's a stage of getting out of victimization. Yeah, it actually is. So like, I don't judge it. Like, hey, you need to rage out. Go like, I don't have a judgment of you raging out. Yeah. I mean, there's more constructive ways that might And like, can you do it in a way that's not actually harming
people? Yeah.
or like emotionally, energetically, psychically dumping into someone's field on Instagram, you know? You know, it's like, because a lot of people can't even acknowledge that they're actually in the experience of rage. They're just,
That's so true.
it's just overtaking
oh
their,
my
they're just
days, I'm not
overtaking
angry.
just overtaking their nervous system. It's literally running their reality, and they're like in denial around it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true.
Because a part of them is trying to get out of victimization.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's usually blame.
Yeah.
The rage is being
Because
directed somewhere.
That's all tied in with the victim. Yeah.
Victim,
consciousness.
perpetration, and rescuer
Yeah.
is the samsaric cycle of identity that most human beings are pendulating between one of those frameworks. Yeah. Or all three in different relationships. One relationship to the rescuer, another to the perpetrator, another one to the victim.
Yeah. It's constant.
Yeah. That's samsara in a nutshell. Is that whole cycle.
Yeah, samsara, of course.
Yeah. If you want a really relative framework for samsara that's not like hyper Buddhist philosophy, it's
That's it.
victim, perpetrator, and rescuer. That's it in a nutshell. There's samsara.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we get to learn to identify, love, and integrate when it emerges. Like, oh, here's my slice of the collective shadow.
Yeah.
That's manifesting inside of me. Where does this come from? Okay, this is coming from this part of my lineage or this part of my, coping strategy. And again, the more self-responsibility we take around it, the more empowered we get.
Yeah, totally. I like what you said, the collective shadow, because I think sometimes it might feel like, oh, it's just
personalize the shit out of
this
it.
thing. Yeah, right.
It's
like
all,
we're all going.
No, you can't possibly understand what I'm going through. This is so unique to my experience, which it is because you're inside of it. But it shows up archetypally,
totally, right?
All the time. We're not special. Yeah, you're special.
Yeah, we are, but
you're not.
Yeah, totally, right.
We're everything.
The non-dual,
and we're
right?
nothing.
But also just the plant medicine thing as well. I also went on that, but it was only for like 3 years. But I also thought, oh, maybe this is going to be my path. I'm going to be doing this.
Especially when it's trending and you have so much validation coming from a whole collective culture that's like reinforcing it.
But it was quickly like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right then.
Yeah. It's wild now comparatively like when I was first introduced to that world. Like
it's wild now, yeah.
I was at Medicine Fest this year and I was like, the beauty and the horror of mass adoption.
That's true, isn't it?
Because we're now inside of a spiritual circus where all these uninitiated people are initiating other people, and it's scary.
I mean, listen, you said it.
Yeah.
I know, right?
And I just want to really clarify that I really respect and appreciate Medicine Fest.
Yeah.
And the team and the things that they're creating comparatively to any other festival is like, it's alcohol free.
Yeah.
They're doing beautiful work with Indigenous people.
But it's not just that, it's just the overall.
I'm talking about the collective marketplace, and that was evident there.
Yeah, exactly.
My mentor calls it the false light grid.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
It's a separate podcast.
So this is the thing. So like a lot of people say you exit the matrix and then you enter the spiritual matrix.
Yes, that's the false light grid.
Exactly, that's the false.
And I'll give a brief analogy because I've been giving this analogy to friends of mine because I let go of 90% of my network because of that grid, and I was a part of that grid.
Yeah, because sometimes you just have to, man.
Yeah,
you have to.
It's very real. This is why all these people are becoming born again too, because they're going through the disillusionment of the new age. And then ending up,
so many people are, right?
Yeah. But there's an integrated path. You don't have to pick up another safety blanket or another identity
or another trap.
Yeah, it just means you're that much closer to like the disillusionment you need to go to the core level of healing, and then people will.
Wait, say that again. What means that? It means
the level of disillusionment that comes when you're facing the unraveling of like kind of new age shamanic. Like the thing that makes someone reach towards the born again when they're in this moment of extreme discomfort and vulnerability, that's the point where you're at a massive breakthrough of initiation, and you have then people grasp onto something.
Yes, gotcha.
Default back to the thing, or like this is familiar and safe, or like they also have masterful people coming in and swooping people up that say all the right things because, why wouldn't you want to be saved? Why wouldn't you want to be saved? But who's being saved?
I'm like, no.
If we're existence itself, like who is the being that's being saved?
Yeah. But that phrase just doesn't.
No.
I'm just like,
listen. Yeshua was a master. Love Jesus.
Yeah.
Just want to be really clear.
Of course.
Praise,
Yeah.
bless it up. But yeah, it's a major pattern within this sort of strange timeline that we find ourselves on.
Yeah, it is.
And it's important to know why. So so
The false light
you
grid.
leave the matrix. Let's say that the matrix is like 100 block radius somewhere in the universe.
The analogies,
yeah. And inside that 100 block radius, I mean, you have the prison. You have like a prison sector. You have like this institution, and then there's this really cool white temple behind the estate. And inside that white temple, a bunch of people are like we made it out of the matrix. And they're doing all these rituals, and there's actually like piping underneath that white temple that's feeding right back into the same system. Yeah. That's the false light grid. And that's
the black box.
Yeah. That is the strange paradigm that we find ourselves in, is the very nuanced spiritual identity that is rooted in a type of spiritual narcissism that is so unaware of itself and has been birthed by capitalism and colonialism and many other isms that that is not personal but is a collective trend. Like dismantling narcissism and spiritual narcissism is something that souls are going to have to pass through. And I also had my own version of it. Narcissism is masking very, very, very deep shame. And that is one of the most intense feelings that, whether you're a spiritual person or not, you don't want to feel. That's like, you rather die than feel shame. And so there's like all this, like, they're a narcissist and they're a narcissist, and like this, like, and there are full-blown narcissistic defense structures and covert narcissists, and there's a difference between that and the blind spot of a narcissistic blind spot, like full-blown narcissist versus narcissistic blind spot. What we're looking at in the spiritual community is a blind spot of a type of narcissism that is a manifestation of the colonial capitalistic structures that gives rise to a hyper-individualism that needs to be more and do more in order to be lovable. It's a really simple sentence. In order to get its needs met. It's there's survival underneath a lot of these things.
There's a lot of that, but I also just think there's a lot of just like unawareness.
Well, it is a form of unawareness.
But like sometimes just being in the false light of just like,
you know what I mean? It's a bubble. It's a really fun bubble. It's where you get there's a lot of self-congratulatory circle jerking of privilege in the false light. It's like, we're going to save the world. But it's like, but it's all about me. Like, look at me, I'm saving the world. I've regrettably have supported a lot of people in that space that were like, really pure hearts, but just completely unaware of their coping strategies. And every attempt that they're doing to serve is actually self-serving. The ulterior motives, the transactionality, the hyper-positioning, the social hierarchy, the objectification, the level of transactionality that goes on in these communities is disturbing.
I feel there's also just people who are not necessarily in the narcissistic part, but they're still in the false.
Because it's belonging there. So that's the trap. Belonging is actually a trap. We inherently belong to the earth and the universe.
Yes, and that is like, can you feel that?
The Matrix has duped people through belonging. That's how 2020 happened, and the mass adoption of something that should have never been introduced to our bloodstream entered reality.
I know, right?
It's belonging, weaponization of empathy.
Weaponization, totally.
Yeah, all of it. So, like I said, that's a whole podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Dismantling the false light and uncoupling from it. I'm still in a big integration process with my teacher before I feel like I would be in integrity to take people through a curriculum, but I am able to speak to some people around it. This is the first time I've done anything public. I don't know when this is going to air, but I've shared this analogy with like 4 friends. Okay. So if you're hearing this,
Well,
we'll just trust that you're in resonance to be able to receive it, because you were able to receive it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're a representation of your audience. So.
Well, in 2020, I came across a lot of people online, and basically we were all coming into the same realization.
Yeah.
The false light. It became such a thing, and like, wow, hang on a minute.
Right.
And I went to so many festivals as well.
Right.
And I just remember looking around and really like,
what is this?
Yeah, like what's going on? Why are there so much like different paths, and everyone's like, this is the right path, and this is. I was like, what? Yeah, what is going on here? It's so interesting, because I think some of us come in and we have that coding already that's just like, don't get too comfortable.
Yeah. The hypervigilance that we were talking about earlier.
It's like, hang on, like. But the thing, and that's another interesting thing as well, because people say find your path and stick to it and stay there, but it's like, is it?
There's a reason in the Celtic tradition that it's a winding knot. It's not linear.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a windy road. Twists and turns, interconnected with the intelligence of nature.
But the false light grid that you're talking about, I feel like that was a big one for me. Like,
I mean, the fact that we can talk about that is really awesome. It's not like, it's very refreshing for me.
I love it.
And it's become like a massive focus of my own integration and disillusionment work. Like, I had to really grieve like the majority of my community.
So when did this process happen?
I say the unraveling started to happen 2 years ago, but only in the last, like, the pilgrimage that I've been on the last 8 months is like fully uncoupling from it.
Wow. Yeah.
Fully letting go of those relationships.
Yeah.
And also like not making people wrong for being there. It's been tender. And like Bali is like Austin, all these places that I live are like literally false light havens. So I had to like fully grieve entire communities I was a part of. And then the people that come back, just like you let go of a lineage and it was like a training wheel.
Yes.
The people that show back up on the timeline that are like genuinely interested and there's not trying to get something, or, because there's so much like social people just using each other to get to some level of validation or
I mean, I think
alleged success,
Yeah, you said it earlier. It's like the same thing that just
it's repackaged.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100% repackaged, and even more sophisticatedly destructive to the soul, actually. So it's
that resonates.
The most seductive thing about the false light is that it empowers the lower mind, and the lower mind will masquerade as an awakened consciousness.
Yeah, that's like a sticky one.
It's gnarly. And I'm guilty of that too. For a large, I would pendulate. I would get these sobering waves of clarity, and then I didn't want to lose the relationship, or I didn't want to lose the opportunity, or I didn't want to, whatever it was. Well, and I had to let it all go to be like, all right, you know what? I've done this before.
Yes.
I've let go of everything before. I've trusted life before to self-organize on behalf of my soul. What makes this any different? But this time it's like, the level of wholesomeness that I'm experiencing inside of my own being, of truly not needing to like grasp onto anyone else or anything else anymore. And then the quality of relationships that are showing up as I let go of that whole community, like the people that are coming back, and some of the people are still dancing in it. It's like, I get to just love them. I'm just having a lot more meaningful one-on-one connections than like group experience. Like, I'm much more of a hermit now.
Yeah,
I was like tribe guy for like 15 years.
Wow.
Massive community builder all over, and now it's like my circle's tight.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, super tight. Yeah. And I trust that like this is the space I'm meant to like actually teach from. This is like now my body of work can actually start to go out.
It's I think it's such an important part of what we see playing out in the world,
For example?
Well, just what's happening in Palestine, I guess, it's like, I don't know, the false light I just think it's basically the setup of the entire reality that we live in, you know what I mean? So it's like,
all the distortion within it is contained within the greater whole.
Yes, exactly, right?
Yeah. Which again, that's the whole colonial capitalistic
yeah, totally.
all stemming back to Rome.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
looking at
Do you know what I mean? It's like this goes deep.
This is multi-generational warfare. This is
multi-generational warfare. That's the term.
multi-generational trauma.
Yes.
And the trauma is where that system exploits
Yes.
to fulfill its agendas.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where the self-responsibility comes back. If we are resolving our trauma, then we are not susceptible to those narratives.
Yeah, exactly.
And we co-dream something else.
Yeah. But again, like you said, that this is the place you're supposed to be teaching from and coming from now, like, because man, I think it's so important. It's a big part of the shift, and like so many more people will start to realize, like,
how the setup was. And it's like I've had some friends I've talked about. They're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but like you were doing really beautiful work back then too, and like it was meaningful. It's an oscillation. Like when like the expansion and contractions that happen, and when our souls actually ripened enough to like pluck a thorn, that like when you pluck that thorn out of your system, the identity really thinks it's going to die forever. Like there's like moving from like unsafety to like fear of annihilation level stuff. Like in terms of like it's like the nature of the confrontation is that much more confronting, but that much more rewarding when we cross that threshold.
Love that. Yeah. Just for what your friend shared, that perspective, it's interesting because it's like, you were doing beautiful work back then, but then also at the same time it's like, well, now you have this. I find since I've kind of discovered this, there's more intention of like, okay, where we are going now. Like there's more like, okay, hang on, it's not just anything goes anymore.
There's consequences, like massive consequences.
Yes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so before they might have just been a bit like
laissez-faire.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can get, well, that's another indoctrination of the false light matrix. That there's no consequence to your choices or actions.
Oh my days!
Like I can just have rapé every day for the rest of my life and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just ketamine, bro.
Yeah.
It's
or
like,
even for
what is that doing to your energy field? What is that doing to your karma? What is that doing to the people you're in a relationship with?
And can I also mention the injection?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I think people don't realize the consequences.
When we and this again is coming back to taking self-responsibility. Once we start to take self-responsibility and we get the empowerment, then we realize every choice matters, every thought matters. We're responsible for your thoughts, indulging them or not. That's the level we start to play at.
It's a big up leveling, like the responsibility, like actual stepping into that
ability to respond to all the information the universe is giving you.
Yeah.
And sort of it's feeling a sacred pause. We just covered a lot. I mean, I had no idea we would get into this, and I'm so grateful that we were touching on it, because I think there is a lot of value for people, and I've been waiting for like, when am I gonna give it's gonna be a free or donation based course on like just dismantling that in ourselves, like that false light matrix, like
amazing,
what the traps are inside of that. Like the biggest one, as I understand, is lust. Lust is the glue that bridges the false light to the matrix.
Craving
and substance. It's the first time in my life that I've been off everything, including caffeine. Like absolutely everything.
Amazing.
Like I almost like, how did I why was I so good at justifying like the externalization of things?
Again.
And I was phasing out. It was like, again, it's like we're ready when we're ready.
100%. I always say that.
You can't impose these things on ourselves, but
and
it's kind of like I can see, just like when I had that first awakening, and I could kind of see where my soul had been in the background. When I went through the disillusionment and the realization on the false light, I could see where I was aware of it, but not honoring my sight for like the last decade.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, this was me indulging in an egoic pattern and justifying it when I was sort of aware that something was out of integrity. Oh, this is like, why did I stay in a relationship with that person that was so misaligned? Because of like some potential opportunity. Like that's where I self-betrayed my soul. And like you see where the false light was like bringing all its little seductive hooks, which is a lot of it, again, it's the same thing in the regular matrix. It's usually validation, it's social hierarchy, it's numbing from feelings.
Yeah, exactly,
It's,
exactly.
all the same things we do in the other. It's just a much more glittery spiritual version.
Yeah.
And it's
like a game.
50 times more self-deception. Yeah, it's a new level of the video game.
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
damn, I
really thought I was, at a pretty high level, and
in the White Temple.
yeah, there I was in the White Temple inside of the Matrix.
Yeah.
in the back of the estate of the Satanists. Little did I know that I was all the prayers we were doing around that fire were going right back into the into the black feeding it right back into the system. Yeah.
But I'm really grateful as well to speak to you because I think I've been off the things for quite a long time, and you mentioned at the beginning, early stages when you had the first awakening, but you just stopped. Yeah, loads of things. Everything fell away. Same thing, right? But and I stopped drinking alcohol and everything, and then I only just went on to the plant medicine journey, and then even after that, I was like, I'm done. I need to be sober. This requires me to be here.
Yeah, this is why I'm doing the darkroom work with leaders. So when you're in the darkroom, there's no stimulation, there's nothing external. Yeah. And your body self-generates the pharmacopoeia of some of these kinds of things. It's like, sober experience. That is, I've been saying this for years, but it really landed in this last darkroom. It was like the nature of the soul itself is psychedelic. Yeah, psychedelics just peel back the layer to the psychedelic nature of our multidimensional self. Yes. And so when we can cultivate a gradual relationship, and this is where I've had spiritual teachers be like, what the heck are you doing, bro? You're in such a deep initiation. Why are you doing plant medicine along with the, like I want teachers, every time you go to a freaking ayahuasca ceremony, I have to clean you up. Yeah. You're so open. What are you doing? She's like, I can't keep working with you. Say that one again. Doing this. Literally. Yeah. It was, and then she would point out all the distortions of the person that was serving. This is coming through their field.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Some of these people don't even know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
This intention.
90% of the people serving medicine shouldn't. 92%. Honestly. 8% of that population has an actual dharma. The rest have self-prescribed this illusion of dharma. Yeah. And are actually avoiding their true mission by making that. Staying in the. I have a post that's coming out recently. I wrote it when I came out of the dark room. I haven't done it yet because it's pretty savage. It's like, if you can't bring someone into an altered state of consciousness with just your presence alone, you have no business serving medicine. Oof.
That's wild. Powerful.
Yeah. So you have all these people that have no capacity to give a transmission into multidimensionality or access to the ancestral realm. It's even in Dune prophecy right now. The agony, they talk about it. When an acolyte goes through their final initiation to open up the access to the ancestral records of all their ancestors, and they could die in the process. It's like an iboga ceremony level initiation. If they're not ready for that, they'll literally die. If they're ready through it, they only do it once, and now they have that ancestral memory the rest of their time. That's the only time to do it. My mentor, who is very the one that has dismantled all my awarenesses around the false light, she said, ayahuasca is meant to be done once, and you're supposed to prepare 10 years. The only reason that it's not that in our world is capitalism. It's the only reason it's out of the jungle. It's the only reason that it's out, and people might reject that, and it's okay. Yeah, I have plenty of people that are still in the work. I respect the work. I lived it for 15 years, and there was something that really resonated with me about that. Yeah, when you get the message, you hang up the phone. It's. I also think the nature of the plant has changed because of the morphogenetic field of the collective ego. It's giving people's egos what they want. Yeah. Oh, I want to manifest this, and I'm working towards it. It's like inside of that false light matrix, I'm trying to crystallize this identity of who I am to the world, and ayahuasca helps me achieve that. So what kind of master teacher is helping create egoic identities in the world? Or helping reformulate new, more sophisticated egoic identities?
That's so freaking true.
I don't trust that.
Yeah, what is actually going on?
Right. So this is where, again, this is a whole... the Luciferic and harmonic principles, like Steiner's work. Like, I actually think that ayahuasca is Luciferic. And it doesn't mean it's bad or wrong. Luciferic energy is great at smashing harmonic energy. Harmonic energy is like the fascist full matrix. But Lucifer is like, I'm better than God. I have knowledge. I'm going to go play in the free choice realm and do what I want. Mm-hmm. So what is the middle path? It's not harmonic or Luciferic. Is source. It's Christic. And this is why there's also the drawback to the born again sort of Christianity, because there's a truth to the Christ frequency.
It's Christ with a K.
Yeah, right. Well, it's that's a deep rabbit hole of the actual mystery schools that being walked through.
Yes.
To be initiated to the level of, but also what he did do for humanity and where it got twisted and distorted.
Yes.
Like the fact that people are worshiping a Roman torture device.
What's that?
The cross.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're worshiping death. Not resurrection.
That sounds quite satanic.
So there's inversions.
Yeah.
Inside of any dogma, inside of any body of work, there's inversions, and they're inceptions that were placed there by high levels of sorcery.
Yes.
High levels.
Yes.
Very high levels.
Yeah.
And once there's a lie inside of a truth, it's no longer a truth.
Yeah.
So this is how people get hooked into things like QAnon and other things. It's like there's truths in there, and the soul feels a resonance of truth, and then the inversions hook in right into the crown or hook right into the nervous system and pulls them off track in a predictable and controllable way.
Yeah.
Social engineering at a consciousness level. So we call it a psyop.
Wow.
Psychological operation.
Definition.
Yeah. It's working. Like you can go onto Instagram or watch a movie and get an etheric implant into your field. That's bringing you towards a darker timeline.
Yeah.
And people have no idea that they're just watching these conspiracy videos or going to watch a movie in Hollywood, and they're coming out with etheric implants. And they're all of a sudden their perceptions change and they're more fear and they feel less safe in their body. And they're feeding that timeline there with their imagination. It's all it's the imagination. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Because we're existence itself dreaming itself into reality.
Yeah.
So it's a very high level game. Like
high level game. I was just gonna say it's so intricate. And the more you like deepen and go deeper and progress, it's like the more you become aware of there's so much more to be aware of.
Right.
Like all the time.
Yeah. Right? You think you got to a certain level and you have a grasp of the universe and then you have a whole worldview shattered.
Yeah. But I'm also really looking forward to the day because, like, as you described, and this is another thing, I actually have another podcast that's like on the other side of psychoactive plant medicine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Second book. Okay.
Speaking to people who've like walked away.
Dual medicine. Dual episode.
Yeah. Because it's like a whole other tangent, you know. But
for sure.
Yeah, I think that it's so interesting, isn't it? Like the trust that you put in that person, and sometimes you can really see like this person, even their nervous system sometimes, or like and what was I going to say about that now? I am really looking forward to like the day when things become so much clearer, where we start to know the details and such. Because now I feel like there's like so many blind spots, like what
blurry.
I mean? Yeah, it's blurry and like. But I know that we're going to be accessing
as the veils thin. These things are. I mean, they're all exposing themselves on the world stage in the spiritual communities. It's what I'm realizing as I'm sharing this is the frameworks for understanding disillusionment are going to be really important for people.
Yeah, 100%.
So that they don't get scooped up by another distortion program, another inception, another site. Like you don't want to go from psyops to psyops.
Well, this is you want to
go from one, false paradigm to another false paradigm.
Yeah. Well,
although some of them are a little more wholesome than the other. Like I have a lot of Christian friends. They're very wholesome. They're very sweet, even in their distortions. It's like
that's so true. I love that.
it's slightly less cringe than something else. But do we want to be in slightly less cringe, or do we want to be with truth and reality?
Exactly.
Do we want to go like what level of initiations are you here for?
Yeah.
Do you want to hang out at the side of the river, or do you want to go all the way to the ocean? That's it. It's like there's
yeah, we're always choosing, we're always creating, that's what we're doing. Yeah. But no, what did you say there as well? I find it, yeah, the frameworks are so necessary, and I 100% agree with that. And that's why, like, I created this online course as well. It's Awakening 101. It's a map. And I remember hearing someone saying before, like, the new teachings are not going to be teachings. They're not showing you like specific. They're
giving you a framework so you can have your own process.
Exactly.
And have some direction.
Yeah, so that you can see the multidimensionality, so that you can think. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's more of like a perspective that's opening, you know?
Right. And that's super important that people are empowered to make their own decisions and own their discernment.
Yeah.
And there's in that generational warfare, there's been a war on discernment and intuition.
Oh my days, so
and
true.
That's in like the more that I go deep down, it's like it's kind of scary, the level of intentionality behind these things.
Yeah.
You know, if I get into it with some folks in different conventional settings, they're like,
it can invoke that in people. Yeah.
The resistance to the intentional fuckery.
Yeah.
Like the actual level of fuckery. The multi-dimensional fuckery on our planet is unfathomable in some worldviews. Unfathomable.
So when you say, what did you say? It can be scary. You mean that part?
It can be confronting to people that can't fathom multidimensionality. Anything multidimensional for someone who's not functioning multidimensionality is confronting.
Yeah, and also just that, like, that kind of darkness and evil can exist.
Right. That it exists. And there's a stage where it becomes known. Yeah. In a way that it's the nature of it changes. Yeah. It's not personal anymore. You're not being singled out. Yeah. Like that changes. Because I definitely lived through some really, like, there's things I can't talk about on this podcast. You know? I wouldn't want to be on record for some of the things that I actually survived. Wow. And why I had such insane CPTSD. Yeah. This sounds interdimensional. It was. Literally. Yeah, it is. You can feel it. And so this is where I can help people that have survived. I have worked with clients that are very in the world and, want to regulate their nervous system and heal trauma. And then I have people that are super sensitive, super multidimensional, and have endured things that most human beings can't fathom. And need a very particular kind of support to reintegrate. Like satanic ritual abuse, for example. I have clients that have survived that and have natural frameworks in my own nervous system for that. I have war veterans that feel safe with me because they just feel like I've survived something. They just assume I'm a veteran also. Yeah. I've had weird cab drivers, Chinese cab drivers, but you're special forces. Wow. I'm not the way that you think. No. I know your type. You're special forces. I'm like, no, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. It's true in one regard. Yeah. Arcturian ground crew. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The Avengers. But yeah, it's and then hold it lightly and let it go. It's we don't want to over-attach or over-identify because any of these things. It's the beauties in the human experience. Yeah. Multidimensionality is the truth of who we are, but the more ordinary, the more simple is actually where a lot of the healing, when we can get ourselves to the point where just sitting with your warm morning beverage in stillness, and there's no anxiety, and there's no thoughts arising in the way that they're pulling you into tangents of past and future. There's just a capacity to breathe effortlessly, and there's no meaning being generated around what it all means or where there's a capacity to be consistently in abiding awareness. That transcends all these complex things, star-seeded empath. It's it's
well, yeah, I love that because as you're saying that, I'm seeing that because that's really important, and that's the foundation. That's why we do this, because I feel like then when we do get the information comes, you can ground it.
You can integrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you, like that experience you described with the hot drink, it's like, okay, cool.
Not grasping.
Yeah, not like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or,
It's, there's so many ways that we can learn to feel things in a healthy way and fully feel, and also disidentify things that deserve to be disidentified from. Because there's traps in the non-dual teachings of like witnessing abiding consciousness and like disassociating and bypassing and all that. And then there's like really good moments to be like, maybe you shouldn't take that thought seriously, bro, or identify that thought as who you are. Maybe that identity that you're giving meaning to is not actually taking you down the right path. There's going to be consequences to those choices. Like there's times to disidentify from things that we've given too much of our life force to. And then there's times to just that parts that just need accompaniment. They need another soul there with us. Why we feel something that's really been hard to feel because of the unsafety we've endured. There's the therapeutic process that moves the emotional charge that prevents us from abiding in consciousness. And then there's the consciousness work. So we need both. We need the shadow work and the light work. We need the
it makes sense.
Therapeutic work, and we need the non-dual work. There's a space for all of it to become an integrated soul. And then this spirituality that emerges has ethics. Then the spirituality that emerges is about getting rid of vices and actually cultivating virtues. Then our spirituality is not about mitigating perception. It's about being with reality as it is as best we can and having support when we can't. And taking accountability for when we can't be with reality as it is. Like beyond projections, beyond frameworks. Really learning to be with things as they are.
I think that's one of the biggest things.
That, just having that metric is a healthy reference point. To gauge and the noise that can come between us and that. A lot of like at the end of the day, even this like as we come in for I feel us ready to close out. It's like I was just thinking. We're here doing the thing. Attunement, presence,
and ease.
It's like even as I start to like as I hear myself talk, I'm like, there's nothing else to say.
So I'd like to ask everyone this question, but I also have another one that I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
So the first one is, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom is our natural state. Is our actual natural state. And the qualitative experience of freedom in our human reality often starts with the true dismantling of the need to be perceived in any specific way. Like when you're done needing to be perceived or received in a particular way, there's a lot of freedom that happens in the nervous system.
Wow. It's so wild how people have so many different definitions. It's amazing. But that can happen in so many different ways.
Unraveling that.
Wow, I love that.
We think we don't care that people don't like us until we really valued one person's opinion in a particular way. And it's like another clue.
And then there's also expectation.
Freedom is deeply woven with the trust of life.
Love that. Thank you. And so, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on your vision of New Earth and the direction that we are going in.
We're in what I believe is the purification stage. New Earth is the renewal stage. New Earth exists as a framework like the seed of the oak tree that it's very close to sprouting, still germinating in some ways. Maybe it's sprouted in some areas in the universe, and it's informing the morphogenic field of potential new Earth, the infinite potential timelines that exist. New Earth is our highest excitement. It's the golden timeline that our future ancestor selves are dreaming into this now. The new Earth is the blueprint of our own self-realization coming into blossoming as we show up for it courageously. The new Earth is the willingness to face ourselves honestly and then take action from the resourced clarity of the soul. Then the external systems that we create will be a mirror to the soul. And we're not replacing love with anything. We're just beautifying the world so it works for everyone. A regenescence of consciousness. New Earth is more like emergent Earth. It's our responsibility to dream it into being, and live into it together.
That was like a poem.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And check out my poetry and music. It's one of the big parts of me.
Okay.
As a bard.
What does the regenescence mean? Like,
think about the two words.
Did you just make the word up, or is it actually a word?
No, it's a recent mimetic that's been collectively dreamed. I didn't come up with it, but I'm definitely helping propagate it
Nice.
for sure. Yeah. I don't know who came up with it.
Okay.
I'm definitely an early adopter.
I love that you said renewal. That just really gave me this feeling like, oh yeah,
life force returning.
Oof. Yeah.
Nature, self-organizing, healing, self-healing.
And I love as well you said coming from a resourced.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that are going into the concept or the projection of the new Earth are approaching it from the same constructs and paradigms that got us in the mess that we're in.
Yeah.
So they have to be born of absolutely new consciousness that has no frame of reference for itself. It is literally emerging from the coattails of the unknown.
Wow, that's important.
We have to live into it.
Yeah.
There's no template for it. It is arising as we dismantle the old templates.
Yeah.
That's what makes it new.
Love that. Amazing.
Tierra. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was an amazing conversation.
Yeah, I really appreciate how receptive your nervous system is. Like some people I do podcasts with, they start to get their nervous system actually start to get blown out because what I'm talking about is there's like transmissions, and it's like I could feel you like almost like honey water. You're like, oh, that feels really good. Like you can taste the frequency of what's being shared, and like your soul is like, yeah.
I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's like I have that very rarely actually.
Wow.
A lot of people that I've had podcasts with have their own agenda or assumptions about me or whatever.
Oh wow.
You're just super receptive, so it actually helps my channel to just be.
Oh yes, I love
more
that.
just like just sharing.
That's so cool to hear. Yeah, because I think this is one of the reasons why I don't like to plan anything. I'm just like,
this was amazingly spontaneous.
Yeah.
We decided to do this today, guys.
That's so true.
If you made it this far,
thank you.
Kudos and appreciation. So,
but it was interesting actually because I noticed myself drifting a bit sometimes, and I was like, okay, come back.
It's a lot. It's a lot of information. I mean, this, but, I hope this was supportive to everyone who listened. Yeah.
So, I'm sure it will be. So, do you want to share a bit about you?
I feel like shared enough, but in terms of like,
I'll put your Instagram anyway.
Yeah. My Spotify, my Instagram, my website, it's all Luke Kohen with a K.
Okay, so
Kohen.
And the coaching that you do?
I do. So I have a free community. I have one-on-one mentorships, and I have group programs. So I have from like free to very high end. And,
amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have something for everyone. The high end work allows me to make my gifts available for free as well. I just want people to have tools no matter what. We'll never withhold something from people that need support in these times.
So true. Oh,
So
I love
yeah.
that.
So yeah, and I also, my healing practice is open. I do one-off sessions with people as well. Most, I kind of closed my practice for a couple of years and was only doing containers. But then I was like, sometimes people just need one session in their whole life.
I love that.
Other people that we need to, it's our destiny thread to do a year, 2 years, or 6 months, or whatever it is. And I'd say that 2025 is going to be a really big year for me, sort of coming more onto the world stage. And
Love that.
I have so much music that we're coming out with, and
amazing. Yes.
Hip hop is just another way of sharing stories. And I feel like the things I've lived through and my humanity get to like share some of these kind of codes that we're talking about, but in like a very fun, different way. So definitely check out the music.
Yeah, amazing.
And other content.
I love that. After all of that, the content.
Yeah. Like,
love it.
I'll be in Glastonbury more, doing immersions up there as well. New paradigm men's work, and lots of stuff. I'm never gonna stop offering things. And there's so many things. I'm writing a book in New Year around mental health from like a more integrative spiritual approach.
That is needed.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Lots of cool things. So yeah, just stay connected. Instagram's a great place to get the like surface sprinkle, but if you made it this far, then it seems like you're like going deep. So let's keep going deep together.
Yeah, always. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is refreshing and for me as well, because it kind of shows me where
ready,
like people are ready for it. There was a while I was like, oh man, people aren't ready to do the kind of shadow work I can take them through. Like I can sit with someone and go to their deepest core issues and like karmically in this light, like whatever it is, and just go right through their akash and find what's really going on and get to the nuts and bolts of the patterns. And I was like, people are not ready to sit with themselves. Like people are going to coaches to get validated and given like a new spiritual boost, spiritual identity boost. It's like I'm here for people's souls, not their egos. And I didn't think that the collective was ready for the shadow work that I could provide, but now I feel like not only is it needed, people are finally ready for it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a theme, man. But also I feel like sometimes when you go into that place, especially with like false light thing, it can feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, because people aren't there for that work.
Yeah,
they're there for the reinforcement of their spiritual identity. A lot of those relationships are not actual relationships. They're cooperating and enabling each other's spiritual identities. I'll reinforce yours if you reinforce mine, and then we'll both have this desired outcome that we're both trying to create together. And that's why we have a relationship. It's transactional.
But
or codependent, which is transactional.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I think it's happening. More and more people. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate this experience, and
it's amazing. Thank you so much.
It felt really wholesome to share some of these things that I would have never thought I'd share on a podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But what I find so funny is that I found you on Instagram, and I just remember, sometimes I'm like reading what people post, and I'm like sensing like what the person's like. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, this guy seems really freaking cool. He knows what's going on.
Glad I lived up to my
exactly. So it's so amazing, like
energy frequency match.
Yes.
Because sometimes like I've met a lot of people that have met influencers, and they were like so disappointed. Like I had a friend that went to like Spirit Weavers and met all these like obnoxious like female spiritual influencers that were like totally like, how many followers do you have? Like what? I thought you were like this cool down to earth
doing the work
person. You're like totally attached to your online persona. And then you meet someone online like Words of Vibration's a friend of mine. He's
amazing.
James is awesome. He's who he is in real life too. He's just like a sweet human. And and other people you're like, oh, you're sweet, but you're also really well guarded behind a whole persona, and like
totally
like, that's your identity. Great. Okay. I'm not a threat. It's all good. I love you. I'm not gonna challenge that. You want to have fun in that cocoon for as long as you need it.
It's good when you get to that place as well, because it's like, okay,
I trigger people whether I like it or not, so I stopped trying to like
trigger them even more.
well overly provoke them unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Because I have the gate of provocation in my human design.
Okay, fine.
And like I tend to sometimes stir the pot from like that's just how life is moving through me. I'm a 5-1. Here to inform, I'm here to pattern interrupt the matrix. So
Yeah.
it's just literally in my design.
System buster.
System busters. All right, we'll seal it at that. I'm ready.
Amazing.
Go to sleep.
So, and to this podcast, we hope that you can gain many insights through the art of listening. If you haven't already, we would love it if you can follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if that feels right for you. We've also just launched our first online course, Awakening 101, a ninja's guide to navigating your spiritual awakening, which is led by me and is offered via donation. So if you feel called to that, then please dive in. It's available via our website. Thank you.